Hello everyone and welcome to my first episode of the Talk2Rami founder series, where I interview entrepreneurs for why they do what they do. And here is Alex Dorr, the founder and CEO of Mushroom Revival. That I have Alex Dorr in the show today from the Mushroom Revival, which is a company based in Austin, Texas, which is, I consider him my homie in Austin, Texas. We are from Austin, Texas. And you guys, you should check the website is mushroomrevival.com. Check actually your website last time myself, and I find out that I don't know anything about mushroom. The only thing I knew about mushroom is when I go to the restaurant and say, can you add mushroom to my salad? I swear to God, that was so embarrassing when I talked to my wife. I said, honey, you got to come read this website, because really it's so embarrassing. And I was reading and said, oh my God, what is behind all mushrooms? And I didn't know how many different mushrooms out there. And with the background of all that stuff that I read it on the website, I said, wow, this is amazing. But first, Alex, tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how did you start it? Like, what inspired Alex to start this? I'm sure you got a story.
Yeah, I mean, I started in a place just like you, and it's about 99% of the population, especially here in the United States, we're pretty mycophobic, which means as a culture, we don't have a rich history with mushrooms. A lot of that information has been wiped out, unfortunately. And so for us, I mean, most people are starting with the mushrooms on your salad, or all they know is button mushrooms at the grocery store. But really, we share over 50% of our DNA with fungi. There's estimated 5 million species of fungi on the planet, but we only know, or we've only identified about 120,000. So even for the experts, we're really beginning to just uncover the tip of the iceberg on what is fungi, what is mycology, and fungi as a whole, mushrooms, it's its own kingdom. So it's separate from animals, it's separate from plants, from bacteria. It's its own kingdom of life, which most people don't know about. And I think that for me was fascinating. And what pulled me to get into it, I was dealing with my own health issues and was trying all these different things from Western medicine, and nothing really worked for me until I did more research and I found functional mushrooms and found that they were super supportive for my overall health and wellness. And then I found out that mushrooms could clean up oil spills. They could, create new styrofoam. They can, do all these amazing things, and no one was really talking about it. And so that was fascinating to me. I was always a rebel. I was always, interested in things on the fringe or outside of the norm. So this was really a topic or a field to me that was really enlightening.
Yeah, when I read, I don't know how many kind of mushrooms out there, as you said, but they look totally different. And, and most like ordinary people, they don't, if I see it, I wouldn't even know that that's actually a mushroom, beside what they can do for a human body. But, I saw in your website that, you have it for like a mushrooms as a powder, as a drops, and different kind, and based on the people usages. Tell me a little bit about how you separate this mushroom based on what they can do. Like one I saw is for sleep, was for focus, one for energy. And this is a combination of different mushrooms, or just one kind of mushroom does that? How that works?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's funny because mushrooms seem to be going through a renaissance right now. And so a lot of people are calling it the shroom boom, and they're being talked about in Forbes and Fast Company, and tons of celebrities are starting to get into it. And it seems like a relatively new topic, but mushrooms have been used for over 5,000 years all around the world. There's even theories that, modern human evolution was really catalyzed through human mushroom use throughout time. And so over the 5,000 plus years of historical use with humans, there's a lot of data out there on the different mushrooms for different things. And with the invention of quote unquote modern science, we can back those historical stories and literature up with, peer reviewed clinical data. And we can see what compounds are in these mushrooms and what are these compounds doing in the human body. And so that's kind of what we're backing our products off of, is clinical research out there. We are the only functional mushroom company out there that actually has a QR code that people can scan to see the lab results. We want to be completely transparent and not just have people blindly take something that they don't really know about. We want people to actually see transparently what's in there and look at the lab test and see, this is exactly what's going in your body. And I think that level of transparency, I'm a big believer that it shouldn't be just with supplements. It should be with food. I, for one, would love to go to a grocery store and scan every part of my produce and not only know the farm it's coming from, but what is the nutritional levels in my zucchini or my kale or whatever I'm buying. I think that level of transparency will become the norm pretty soon. And it's something that we stand by as a company to be science-backed and really give people that level of transparency.
Actually, just adding to what you said as far as the transparency, you are a hardcore entrepreneur, and transparency is a most important thing in our life. Like, for what we do. And when I saw on the website that you actually spelled out that, okay, we grow the mushroom, then it goes to the lab, then we do this. Basically, the whole process was an open book. And then when I saw that, I said, I want to order that, because right off the bat, you made that connection and transparency, and you gained my trust. I said, okay, they're saying everything here, and there's no fluff or nothing. And that actually made me to order the energy one. And,
nice.
And I said, because, we work here, I said, I want to try it. And, let me see how this works. We're going to put it in the office, and every staff, they can, take it, once a day, scoop, for the powder, put it in your water, any favorite juice you have. But that level of transparency, I wish other companies, as you said, they would unveil that and tell people, this is who we are. This is how we do it. And this is what we passionate. And this is an open book. And, and if people could do that, I think we had a better world.
I agree. There's a lot of shenanigans out there. Our industry is not, it does not have a force field to make us invincible towards shenanigans and bad products. There's terrible, shenanigans going on in our industry. So that, for me, as getting into this industry of using it myself, I wanted to put products out there that were the best that I could ever make, and have people see that trust and feel that trust and feel like they're getting the best product out there. But to give a little one-on-one for people who don't know these specific varieties that you're talking about, you talked about the energy formula. We use a really famous type of mushroom called cordyceps.
Yes.
And that's one of the most famous functional mushrooms in the world. For calm, we use probably the most famous functional mushroom in the world called reishi. And that's a great mushroom for helping support a sense of calm. Another really famous mushroom that we use is called lion's mane, and that's great for supporting cognitive function, memory, and they literally call it the brain mushroom because it's incredible for that function in the body. All functional mushrooms, though, are great for two different things. The first thing is they're all great for supporting the immune system. And so they're incredible for supporting the immune system, which is very important right now. And the other aspect is they're called adaptogens, which is a kind of a buzzword right now for a really good reason. And that's because adaptogens are herbs or mushrooms that help the body support and strengthen our natural defense against occasional stress and fatigue. So pretty much every human on the face of this planet deals with occasional stress and fatigue in some way. And to just have an ally, a metaphorical person behind you giving you a shoulder massage day to day really helps. And it really makes life, I feel like, a lot more easeful and a little less prickly, so to speak. If you're an entrepreneur, you work hard hours, this is definitely for you, or just any human in general. Maybe if you're a Zen monk, maybe you don't need it. But
well, I can tell you, I want to give it a shot. I want to try it. If that works, I really will talk about it in the podcast again, because this is, as you said, I'll put 12 to 16 hours a day. And, a lot of people do that. And most of my friends, they feel so tired. And, they say, I have a brain fog and, I can't really operate because we are human, you can't push the body that much. But if we can find something like, the mushroom revival and, they give us that energy, not only energy, just more focus and, just get us going and in the healthy way. And why not? I think every person, as you said, needs that. And I know you guys, you're killing it. But the question that I have, how you grow these mushrooms? Are you growing inside the country? Is it outside? But because the plantation, I know a little bit about coffee, but I'm sure mushroom has got its own plantation process. How that works?
Yeah, it is a hard process, and it's definitely different from plants. They're decomposers, so it's a great thing that mushrooms can grow on agricultural waste products.
Wow.
So it can be extremely sustainable. But it's very labor intensive. It's the second most labor intensive crop. And most people just aren't familiar with growing mushrooms. So it can be a larger learning curve for a lot of people. We had the largest and the first USDA certified organic cordyceps farm, that mushroom for energy. We grew it in Massachusetts. And that was a lot of fun. They look like Cheetos. It was a really wild process. And over time of scaling, we now have partner farms all around the world, in the United States, in Japan, in China, all over the world, who can grow to strict standards that are lab tested probably 20 times throughout the whole process, and are able to make some really, really high quality mushrooms. And we have locations all around the world that take those mushrooms and make the various things from tinctures to capsules to powders to now gummies. And I'm really excited for the United States and really, North and South America to get back into our love and acceptance of mushrooms. Mexico is pretty big, yes. But I'm happy to see the shroom boom re-enter this half of the world. It's really exciting.
But do you have, I saw that you have a handful of products. Are you expanding as far as the product lines?
That's my main hat that I wear. I love to make products, and I'm an herbalist myself, and that's part of my background. I'm also a mycologist. So that's where I got my degree in school. I have a degree in mycology. I used to work in the lab. I used to have a full-time commercial mushroom farmer for almost a decade. And so for me, working with the farmers, working with the scientists, working on product development, making sure that it's extracted in the right way, following scientific papers and analysis, that for me is really fun. And I love starting from the spore, or quote unquote, the mushroom seed, all the way to the finished bottle and making sure it actually works for people in the best way possible. That for me is where I can fit into Mushroom Revival in the best way, and then educate, like here on the podcast, and, bridge the gap between mushrooms and the people.
I think you just nailed it, Alex. I think the most important thing, we should do as a community or supported, that the education is a big part of this, because I'm telling you, and I'm not shy about it. And I can tell you, last night, I didn't know crap about the mushroom. And I'm 54 years old. And I remember my mom was saying, don't touch that mushroom. It's toxic. You're going to die.
Yeah, most people. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if you grew up in China, or, maybe some parts of of Europe, potentially, you might have a great reverence for mushrooms and it might be more part of your culture, but most places in the world, it's the same way of don't touch that mushroom, it's toxic and blah, blah, blah. And that's exciting for us as well, is to hear these stories of people that didn't know a thing about mushrooms, were scared about mushrooms. They get into it and they send me a long email that's like, I've been taking the same walk with my dog for 20 years. I've never seen a single mushroom. And now I see like 200. There are all these different colors. I'm really excited. And so it's really cool to see people's perspectives totally radically change and shift from a fear to a love. And that's really cool to see.
I actually, yesterday after that, actually this morning, my mom, she's overseas and she's 84 years old. And I called, I said, Mother, you were wrong. Because we have mushrooms that actually will help you, that I will send you some. Let me try it, because she's 84 and it's good for her immune system and all the memory, Alzheimer, all that stuff, just help. And she said, are you serious? I said, yeah, Mom, I would read it.
Where's your mom?
My
living?
mom she's back home in Iran. And,
cool.
and my sister in Germany. And I called my sister and said, you guys, you didn't know. And I didn't know it either. And my mom said, are you serious? I said, Mom, there is more than one mushroom that we saw while we were growing up. That was a white one that is a toxin. This is embarrassing. Nobody educated us. And she was so happy. She said, please send it to me. I said, I get it. I tried. I send it to you. But what I know you started around 2016, 17, something around that.
2018, yeah, beginning of 2018. So relatively new, relatively fresh, yeah.
That's fresh. And then you went through COVID, right?
We did, yeah. We luckily, it's interesting because we were all vertically integrated for the first 2 years, and right before COVID, we decided to really expand and have a ton of international partners that was a little more outsourced and more of a model that we could scale. And we just shifted that model when COVID happened, which probably was the best thing that we could have done. But it hasn't been easy. I mean, with the supply chain issues and things like that, it's been a little weird, but we're all globally in it. We're all in the same boat. So it is what it is. And it's been an interesting ride for all of us, for sure.
The COVID has really hit us all hard, for us, working as a digital marketing company and all that stuff. And for other people as entrepreneur like you, some people are manufacturing with the supply and demand, as you said. And was it easy to bounce back, or it was kind of tough for you?
We're almost 100% online, and we can ship pretty much every single country around the world. So for us, it wasn't that hard. We weren't in a bunch of brick and mortar locations that had to close their doors or whatever. So definitely some interesting hurdles here and there, but I think we adapted pretty strongly.
Maybe.
And it definitely helped taking those mushrooms too, for sure.
Maybe you knew COVID is coming. Alex knew COVID is coming.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the mushrooms whispered in my ear. And I gotta, yeah.
I know, but do we have any mushroom for pets? Or this is the next one?
Yeah, we actually have a whole podcast on it. So we launched a mushroom podcast back in 2019, and now we're the largest mushroom podcast in the world.
Wow.
And we brought on a vet to talk about mushrooms for pets, specifically dogs. And they work really well for dogs and horses and cats, especially for supporting their immune systems, things like that. You could definitely give your pets mushrooms, or definitely talk to your vet first, but definitely.
Yeah, that's what one of the questions. Actually, I was talking to my friend. He asked me. I said I should have Alex that, because he's got like 5 dogs, and he's all into organic stuff for his dog. I said, please ask that question if the mushroom comes for the dog. But that gets to my next question. This is like my favorite: mushroom coffee. Is that something that is in the future? Is in the horizon?
Potentially, yeah. There's a lot of mushroom coffee people out there, and I love coffee. I'm not addicted to it, but I love the taste of it. I think it's great. Cordyceps can even be an alternative to coffee, which I think is really exciting, because coffee has the inevitable crash afterwards where you're jittery and then you just crash, where cordyceps is more of a natural energy that builds over time and works with your body's natural ATP process, adenosine triphosphate, food for your mitochondrial. So literally natural energy on a cellular level, which is exciting. And yeah, it could be in the pipeline in the future. You never know.
That's good. And my last question, I know you got to run. You have a limited time. What advice do you have for any entrepreneurs out there that are listening to you? You started it early. You went to COVID as an entrepreneur. One advice that you have for these hardworking people out there, they want to be you. What advice do you have, Alex?
So there's this concept or this word in Japanese called ikigai, and I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, so please forgive me if I am. But ikigai is this concept of finding the balance between what you love, what you're good at, what pays the bills, and what the world needs. And I feel like if you find the perfect balance between those four things, that's exactly what you should go forward with, and everything should be smooth sailing.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for your time. And I know a lot of good products out there, guys, that you can read about it and educate yourself and order from there. But Alex, thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day. It was a pleasure chatting with you, my man. And I hope I see you next time.
Likewise. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Alex. You have a wonderful day.